for watching Real Politics with Bob. Have a great show, and
I'm excited. I'm sitting here with Kevin Tynan. He's a former chairman of the Broward Republican Executive Committee, and right now we're working on our next Lincoln Day, which is coming up March 12th. Kevin, you've been through a few of these. What do you find most exciting about the Lincoln Days?
It's hard to say. It's always exciting based upon who the speaker's going to be. I know I've shared this story with you. My first ever Lincoln Day, believe it or not, when I was still a young Republican, was 1980. The guest speaker was Ronald Reagan. It was the night of the South Carolina primary. He came in, he's on the podium speaking, and the returns come in. National press all over, and he's announced the winner of the South Carolina primary. And to me, that's really the beginning of his momentum to become president. This year, we are excited, at least I'm excited, because we have our dear friend, a former governor. I expect national press to be present. It'll just be buzzing. The buzz will be fantastic.
Well, let me ask you a question. As you know, I'm a newly elected chairman. What tips, suggestions do you have to make sure that my Lincoln Day is even more successful than the ones in the past?
Well, other than stay home and get out of the way, but no, it's it's difficult because there's so many little details at the end. If you can't trust the people helping you to run it, I was lucky that the two Lincoln Days that I managed, I had a very good executive director, Jim McCullough, and he had run a couple for George Lemieux. He knew what he was doing, had the script, ran well, but like everything, you got to go with the punches for the event. I still remember Tommy Thompson was our speaker one year, and he's just, Jim, time, I need to be on that podium, and people are still trying to get seated. He wanted to be speaking already. He had wanted to get to the west coast of Florida for the night. So stuff happens, but it's a great time to be with other Republicans and be proud about being a Broward County Republican.
Well, I know that our cap for this event is 450 people for Broward County, and there's 240,000 registered Republicans, and so I think, I'd love to see some of the local issues addressed at the Lincoln Day if possible. And do you have any local issues that you think we should be looking at?
Well, it's a local issue, but it also has, in my view, national ramifications. We hear people bandy about, let's be nonpartisan about how we approach politics. And that means a different thing to everyone. Unfortunately for me, at least on the local level, what it seems to me is it's nonpartisan when we as Republicans have to cave in or work with the Democrats. Right now, in fact, next week is Broward Days. All our local Democrats are going to head up to Tallahassee and ask the Republican leadership to be nonpartisan. But a clear example for me, and something I've been meaning to chat with you about to see if you want to be involved with the issue, is our county commissioner, Chip LaMarca, historically or traditionally would have been able to move up to at least the vice chairmanship of the county government. But what happens? They pass him over because he was solely a Republican.
All right, well, in a county where we're outnumbered 2-1, 3-1, do you think it's simply politics, or is there any other things at play?
It's clearly politics, no more, no less. And I'm sure if he had a different party label behind him, he'd be the incoming chair or vice chair. It's strictly politics, and I guess you're going to go back to look when Jim Scott or others served on the commission. I think there's history of that. It's not just Chip LaMarca that's happened to. But again, I find it entertaining and intellectually dishonest that I know darn well all the office holders from down here are going to go to Tallahassee and knock on Republican leadership doors and say, hey, you got to help us, you got to be nonpartisan. And yet on a simple thing as a ceremonial title of vice chair of the board of commissioners for the county, not going to.